it's going to be really hot today. I thought I'll burn out here on the bike and take advantage of this fog that's just burning off now. Fucking beautiful. So I've just made the long trip by bike, which is half the battle, but I will head off from here, park the bike there and wander off into the bush. It's the kind of day where there'd be a few snakes around as well, so I guess I'm going to have to be making a fair bit of noise. So I'll set up just here, which is not ideal because I don't love heights at the best of times. Not that this is particularly high, but I'll just set up here, and because this ridge is kind of interesting, but also, you know, it's just got this awesome little view. If you haven't been here before, welcome. This is Philosophy Actually Works, and I make my best effort to talk about philosophy in terms of creating work and making things in an effort to convey that philosophy and be able to see it through a more practical sense. And today we'll be talking about Zeno's paradox. According to Zeno of Elea, motion is mathematically impossible. To reach any destination, I'd first have to travel half of that distance, then half of what remains, and then half again. Infinite halfway points mean I should never arrive. I started walking yesterday looking for art supplies I'd left with aims to sort of head towards the creek, but by the third or fourth division by half of the infinite divisions that are possible, I'd already wandered into a part of the bush that I'd never been before, but I ended up going further and ended up somewhere I didn't quite recognise. Halfway through mathematical divisions to a destination, well, I'm not even quite sure anymore. Zeno never mentions what actually happens when you end up genuinely turned around. I got a bit of a hill ahead. God, it looks good over there. It's just a nice view where I'm looking over here. It's just great. Here's how Zeno's paradox works. To reach my brush over there, I have to travel 1 metre. But before that, I have to travel half a metre. And before that, half of that. And before that, half of that. Every distance divides in half infinitely. Mathematically, I'm trapped in an endless loop of smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller steps, never actually arriving. The ancient Greeks took this seriously. It challenged everything they knew about space and movement. Practically though, I can just walk over there and pick it up. Reality doesn't care about mathematical paradoxes. But here's what's interesting. The brush over there isn't the same destination that I might start towards. There's a lot of bird life around here today. So the interesting thing about going in and searching for the supplies that I had left there the day prior is that you follow their logic, not yours. So that intention led me down one path, and then suddenly I'm in a part of the bush and in terrain that I'd never seen before. So it ended up illustrating it in a completely different way. So I stopped looking for the supplies and instead just started looking a different perspective on what I thought was a trail that I was familiar with. So every step towards what I was looking for, what I lost in terms of the art supplies that I'd left there the day before, led me to discovering something completely different. Oh, mate, it is dry out here. The destination kept shifting because I didn't know where I was, and I was exploring new areas of where I'd never been before. I'm going to check this. I don't want to get caught in the same situation I did last week with my inability to pronounce Heraclitus.
You can pronounce it as Bol Drular. Let me break it down. Bol, like the word bow, then Dru, rhyming with true, and Lar, with a soft R. Would you like to try it out with me?
Boldrular.
Good try. Let's say it together more slowly. Bol Drular. Try once more with me. Bol Drular. Let's refine it a bit more. Bol Drular. Try saying it smoothly with that flow. Let's go once more together. Bol Drular.
Boldrular. Oh, I'm not getting this. I think, you know what, an American's trying to teach an Australian how to say Boldrular. This is where postmodern philosophers like Baudrillard would get interested. Zeno assumed destinations are fixed points, stable reference we can aim towards. But what if nothing is actually stable? What if every step transforms both the traveller and the destination? Each of my art supplies that I'm retrieving has already changed, and I've already changed, and I'm already changing, and they're already changing, and then the environment around here is already changing. The paint on the brush is mixed with dirt and leaves. The paper is dried out, become wet, dried out. Sun's affecting it. The paper's started becoming the landscape. I'm not retrieving what I've lost. I'm discovering what it became. I'm gonna try and find a way to get down there. Obviously not that way. Challenging. Maybe Zeno's paradox stops being a paradox when you stop assuming that destinations are fixed. In the postmodern condition, everything's already moving, meaning shift. Whew. That was hairy. I'm kind of stressing a bit because I keep hearing things around me, and I absolutely know that there's bound to be snakes around today of all days. But this is pretty cool where I've ended up. Some of the art supplies I left there are not coming back. They're part of the landscape now. They're buried and they're becoming something else. And then we can go on a whole tangent of postmodern thought on that one. And that's not a loss, that's just continuation. I've just realised I've walked so far from where I've come from that I've ended up back down. I can see the trail that goes down to the creek. I think if I walk there, I can walk back without going back where I came from. It'll be a much easier walk if I can find a way down. This is the track we've ended up facing. No idea where it goes. But also the bigger transformation was happening in terms of my mental map of where I am and how those areas connect. It was a different destination. It wasn't the destination I had planned. And almost like the art supplies were an excuse for discovering places that I thought existed but never knew existed. Last week, filming the Heraclitus episode, down by the creek and the waterfall, there were some beautiful pythons just down off the ridge. They're just gorgeous, which I didn't include in the episode, but maybe I'll do some B-roll. They were just stunning. I used to call that failure, or the inability to retrieve something that was lost or that I'd left behind, like leaving something incomplete. But Lyotard wrote about grand narratives. The collapse of completion as a meaningful category. There's a storm coming today, a big one. And maybe incomplete just means still moving, still transforming, still becoming, or still crossing infinite halfway points to destinations that change with every step. And the walk I started, the intention that I started aiming towards, it's not necessarily failure. I discovered something else, and I ended up making something new from what I found along the way. I mean, the intention of this entire video has changed completely from the original intention of it. And everything I left behind out there that I can't find will continue on its journey and will continue becoming something else even after I leave, and the work continues without me. This whole section exists in a relationship to paths that I already knew, but from an entirely different perspective. The infinite divisions aren't obstacles. They're the structure of actual experience. Reality isn't made of stable points, but of continuous transformation. Oh, there's an eagle up there. Oh, there's an eagle up there. And maybe that's the real lesson of infinite divisions. They're not obstacles to reaching they're not obstacles to reaching destinations. They're opportunities for destinations to reveal themselves as something that you could not have imagined. Some destinations become visible when you stop aiming for them. Well, I got here eventually. The gate's just up there. I'm almost tempted to keep going through there because I haven't been through there and I don't know where it goes. Next week, Socratic ignorance. I know nothing. I know nothing. I'll be using clay that I've never used before. Techniques I've never tried. Ooh. We'll discover together whether admitting ignorance is the beginning of wisdom or whether it's just making mistakes in slow motion. Subscribe if you've ever been trapped by perfectionism, taking smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller steps towards achieving impossible standards. I know I'm pretty guilty of that. And tell me, what destinations changed as you began approaching them? Oh. I'll see you next week.